Do we need to do this? You've already done it. She's already done it. Okay, so, okay, thank you, Cindy. Okay, well, let's move on first to the minutes from the December meeting.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, let's move on now to the financial reports with Jordan and Mandy.
Missed the tutorial. Are these on or do I need to do anything? You got to turn it on. It's right on top. All right. Thank you, Mayor. All right, you have before you the statement of assets, liabilities, and equity as of December 31st. You see the 4 bank accounts that have the responsibility of reconciling. They total $1,636,058.01. And then we go to the A&P and then to DFA for sales tax, $2,386.25 for the month of December. If you turn to the next page, you'll see the month of December's P&L for the A&P Commission. Total revenue of $18,204.08, expenses of $12,363.01, net income of $5,841.07, roughly $3,500 ahead of budget for the month. Turn to the next page, you'll see the 12 months for the A&P. Total collections of $218,276.28, expenses of $176,874.06, for a net income of $41,402. Pretty well right on the dot compared to budget. If you look at the next page, you'll see the P&L for the month of December for the Event Center. Total revenue of $62,925.98. That's roughly $10,000 ahead of budget. Then expenses of $65,640.42. Pretty well right on budget. For a net loss of $2,700 and change. Again, that's about $10,000 ahead of budget. If you look at the 12 months P&L for the Event Center, total revenue collected of $729,687.12. $729,687.12. There we go. Expenses of $528,238.99 for a net operating income of $201,448.13. And then you see the capital expenditures of $63,061.17 for a net income of $138,386.96, roughly $5,000 ahead of budget for the year. If you turn to the next page, you'll see the focus group collections for the month of December, $19,882.19, about $2,000 more than expected. And then for the 12 months, the focus group collected $235,053.35, roughly $13,000 ahead of what was anticipated.
Okay, any questions for Jordan? Okay, we'll go on to Mandy, please.
Okay, if you will look at your bank balances sheet, you'll notice that there's a couple of bank accounts on that listing. The first one is your A&P Collections General Account. That's the account that all of the A&P receipts from the area restaurants and hotels and convenience stores go into for A&P taxes. At the end of the month, it is a closing account to where it goes out into the different accounts that you'll see listed below in the different percentages. What was at the end of December 2024 was $5,249.24. The 50% of collections each month goes into the A&P large project checking. The end of December, there was $2,530,413.15. 20% of monthly collections goes into the A&P small project checking. At the end of the month, there was $1,257,128.75, and 10% goes into the next 3 accounts. The first one being A&P General Operating Checking. It ended the month with $137,965.39. Benton Focus a Group Checking, $647,845.75, and the Benton Event Center Operating Checking. It ended the month with $454,274.77. Then there's also the Benton Event Center Savings Savings Account. It ended the month with $394,898.98. In January, the first week, there was a closing that was made on parcel number 3, and that came out of the A&P large project checking. So you'll notice next month, whenever we detail January's receipts, that will be, it will not be 2.5 million. It will be less, about 908,000.
Okay. Yeah, so that's our third installment, I believe, on the
That
property.
is your third installment for the third track.
Okay.
The next sheet you will see is our collections report, and it is for the entire year. So you'll be able to see each month, down at the bottom in your grand totals, you'll be able to see what was kind of your variation. Down a little further, you can compare it to previous years. You will notice in the November collections that are received in December that are delinquent come January 2nd, we had a monthly collections of $177,568.47. That was a increase over the previous years, which was $163,482.66. Year over year, it's about a 4.5% increase.
Okay.
So, as far as delinquencies, they're not, we give them till the 10th of the month until we start sending out the letters. I've already called the majority of all of them. We've had a lot in, I called the last week of December to try to get some of those repeat offenders, I guess you could say, caught up. And there was quite a few that paid the last couple of days of December, which is a good thing. So I would say December might be a little bit high for that reason, because we had a couple that paid 2 and 3 months, so it was a little bit larger than what would be normal. But other than that, just check the courier and we'll send out the delinquency list after the 10th.
Okay. Any questions from Andy?
I make a motion we accept the financial report.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to accept the reports. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mandy and Jordan. Okay. Moving on now, we're go to our funding. The second reading, of course, on the Arkansas Football Club that we had last week. This is a special request that we discussed last meeting. Any further discussion? This will be we need to set our amount, and once again, this is sort of like a request, sort of like the lights by Sparky. You know, it's not technically a funding request; it's a special project, and so this would probably, I would recommend that come out of the A&P actual operating commission account, since it is a special project. We have a lot of excess funds in that account, so. Sort of like we do with, that's where we pay the Lights by Sparky project for the city lights.
I'm sorry, which account?
The A&P commission account,
General operating.
general operating. Yes. We have a lot of retained earnings in that account.
A&P general operating.
Yes. I think there's,
I guess the real conversation is that, is everybody comfortable matching? I think the request they asked for was what? Yeah, well, we're not doing 250. I'm not doing 250.
Turn your mic on, please, so.
I was doing some private discussion. That was private. There we go. I mean, I know there's been talk about matching, I believe, the amount of a private sponsor, which was 50 grand. There's been discussion about that. And I guess the real question is, how does everybody feel about that? I know we've got an excess of $100,000 in there, but I mean, 50,000 is 50,000. I just kind of want to get before I put anything into a motion or bring it in, I just want to know everybody's thoughts.
The question that I had, I'm not arguing with your position, Luke, the question that I have more for these guys is if we were to match the 50, what does that position you guys to do? You know what I'm saying? What does that allow you to do?
yeah.
Yeah, come on up,
Please.
please. Yes, please.
Dan Wilson from the club. So the total amount, if I remember it, unfortunately Chip's actually coaching right now, is around $250,000 is the whole expense. We already have 50 committed. and another 50 would allow us, I believe, to get started on at least one field, because we are absolutely tapped out on space and I can't take any more teams. So if we could get started on one field, that would be ready by the fall, which is the busiest season because the high schoolers come back to us in the fall. So that would allow us to get at least one field going, and then we can piggyback off of that and raise more money for the other 2 fields. That would get us up to 3 by next fall or the following spring. So if 50 is wonderful, more is also wonderful, but I'm not saying that. I believe it's gonna get done. We just need as much help as we can. So, does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay, thank you.
I guess,
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Now, last time you said you're looking to build 3 fields, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Not anymore, just 3 at
That's
one
right.
location.
That's right.
having, and some of you were on the commission then, and some of you weren't, and some of you participated in some of those meetings, and some of you didn't, and I'm referring back to the focus group meetings. And if you guys will recall, the two projects that the focus group came out with recommendations were the RV park and soccer fields. And I know that where the location of these are, and that's why I'm torn a little bit, the location of where we're at, and I do view this as an opportunity versus, new information, new opportunity from where we were when we were discussing this and voting on this. Not the same location that it had in mind from the focus group, but it does short-term provide an opportunity to get more kids playing soccer and move toward that goal of building a longer-term facility. So I hear you on the 50. I might personally be more inclined to go a little more than that if we could settle on an increment that is logical, that would enable them to complete something more, if that makes sense. And I don't know, and that's where I guess I would, if we were, and I'm making up numbers here, so don't hold me to it. What if we were to say, we'd give you 100? Would that build 2 fields, or are you still shy of that second field? Yeah.
So I'm hesitant to give you a firm answer on
Sure.
that. Here's what I believe. So if we can raise more, if you could give us 100, just to say that.
Sure.
And I think we'd be really close to being able to raise enough money to potentially even get lights on the fields, which is not in that 250. And we're doing everything with the intention of this being temporary, for 5 years. So we would get it in a condition where it'd be easily convertible to pickleball or whatever else you want to do. But yes, if you were able to give us more money, what I believe we would immediately do is we'd go to some other people and try to get up to maybe 400,000, which would give us lights and which would be unbelievable.
Sure.
I mean, that would be a spectacular facility between what you have at River Center and all the turf fields that are in the county already. Now you've got all these lit fields for tournaments. That would be crazy.
I think to your point, and y'all don't let me dominate this, I think to your point, whatever we spend down there, it's not gonna be wasted money, because we'll be able to use those, we'll be able to convert that into something else down there, pickleball or whatever, and we'll have, a good foundation with lights.
That's absolutely what we like to do. Yes, sir.
Graded fields and, play ready and all that good stuff.
I got a question. Would it be more meaningful to have one field with lights than it would be to have 2 without?
Yes. Easy answer.
And Bill, I guess with all that discussion about the focus group and everything else in mind, it just raises a question to me. If we wanted to do more, yes, I guess we could raid that general operating account, but I think reasonably we could take that amount out of either the large project or the small project, because it's going toward a goal that committee set, which was soccer.
Okay.
And I may be completely out of line there, but just how my mind works, that sounds logical to me.
The focus group is 100% RV park designated? Okay. So that's what I'm curious about. I would have a question. That was real great, Steve. I know you've already landed one sponsorship. are there more sponsorships that are kind of in the works? Have y'all talked to more people? I know the holidays kind of hit, so that kind of slows everything down for a minute, but
Yes,
are there other on the table that are like, hey, they're hoping they're gonna come through real soon?
Yes, that's right. We are not sitting here, yes, there's been lots of
Yes.
discussions already, yeah.
'Cause- and I noticed, cause,
That's correct.
well, cause, and I say that because as soon as we mentioned, more money, you went straight to, hey, we might have enough to do lights, which made me think, we've already got the other funding coming in. So, and to go on your point, it could be something that even if we approve, 50 now, and if you come up short of those lights, it's nothing we couldn't approve of. You know what I mean? Again,
We just hesitate to ask, we don't know.
well,
how this
you know what I
works.
mean though, like if we say we match that 50 now, and I'm just, again, we're just talking numbers, but, and you go out and you get more sponsorships, and you're like, hey, we're only 40 grand shy of lights at this point. And you come back to us and say, hey, we could go ahead and just knock this
Yeah.
thing out. We could do it either way, either all early in or to split it up, and that way y'all get the ball rolling, and there's potential on the table to come back and say, hey, we'd really like to just finish this
To
project.
be fair and frugal with the people's money, we might be able to get money from national organizations, national soccer organizations, to help with the lights as well. There might
that'd
be
be
matching
fantastic,
funds
yeah.
and grants that we haven't even touched because we're not planning on lights yet.
Right.
So if we were gonna do that, we would do all our homework and then come back to you.
And and that's something I think would be amazing
Okay.
before,
Okay.
because it's not like this is a one and out opportunity for you to come to us and request a special amount.
We didn't
So-
know that. That's fantastic.
So
Yeah.
I think it's, especially if we're looking at before fall, we could be we could be looking at it again come say April.
Great.
We could a
Yeah.
second time for
And thank you, Steve, for kind of refreshing me on that. As far as the focus that, the focus group did, soccer was a big emphasis on that. So therefore, probably coming out of the focus group check-in would be the most appropriate place for that to come, depending on the amount that y'all settle on that.
Just out of curiosity, Commissioner, how long does it take you to get that $50,000 donation? Does it take you a long time, or?
To get someone to commit or to actually get the check once?
Well, that helps.
It took about a month to get one person committed, and there's 3 others that are talking.
Okay. So you have
So a
opportunity
big
or
donation
chances, you
from
feel
us.
like the feeler's out, that
Yes,
you
sir.
might
Yeah.
be reaching other money soon.
Yes, sir. Yep.
What do the lights cost for one field?
To get you a real, for one field, boy, I'm sorry, I wish I could tell you, I wish Chip were here, he would know. We can get you that, if you tell me who to
he's the
contact.
construction guy. He
He's
does,
the
yeah.
guy who
Yeah.
would, yeah.
I mean, over here, sorry, I can't snap so loud anyways. To your point and Bill's saying, if we do go ahead and bump it 100, with it being, if it comes out of the focus group, I mean, there is excess money in there, and that was the RV and the soccer were the 2 major points. We could easily do 100,000 today. But this is, I don't wanna make a motion without a consensus among us that we're all,
50 and then come back and see where they are.
you like that? Okay. How do you, okay, same? Okay, then I'm good with that.
Can I just ask, you're not allowed to, just because you're here, we're happy to come back in April. You can't approve 50 now and then 50 contingent on the light project
Well, we could
moving
make that in
forward.
a motion, could we? We could go ahead and make it in a motion where we wouldn't have to go through the whole process of coming one month.
That's what I'm thinking.
Waiting another month. I'm glad you brought that up, because we could expedite that with the 50th grand piggyback, so,
We just have to outline what it's contingent, the second is contingent upon. Yes. We'll have to be very clear what the second is contingent.
On the club finding funds to put the lights
to
together.
complete the project to its
And the
fullest
50 would
potential,
complete it,
yeah.
yes.
The
That we would come
50
up with
go
all the
towards
other
completion
funds.
with
Yes, sir.
lights. How about we just do that, if they come back, we'll leave 50 contingent upon the completion with lights.
50 in April contingent upon their ability to fund lights.
Perfect.
Something like that. I'm gonna jumble it up, but we're gonna go for it. I make a motion, we approve the initial $50,000 out of the Benton Focus Group checking, with a contingency for another 50 depending on their funding that comes in to finish it out with lights.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Very good. Look forward to seeing that going. We would like some signage that A&P is down there on the field. Okay, well done, gentlemen and ladies. So, okay, let's go on to the next reading. It's the first reading for the Saline County Fair Association. So,
Bill, can we just for the record, and I know you said
Yeah.
it, but I just want to make sure that for the public's benefit, the money that we just approved is not coming out of our advertising fund, that this request is coming from.
That's correct.
Just to make the clear
Yes.
distinction.
that is correct. It's not, it's a special project versus an actual funding request. So, okay. Okay.
Hi,
Hello.
everybody. I'm Julie Kerr. I'm with the Fair Board. Usually we normally ask for like 6,500, but this year we're asking for 7,500 just for the cost of advertising going up. And we're really gonna try to hit more spots and advertise more of the fairgrounds. This past year, we did really well. I think we ended up doing like a little over $6,300 is what y'all ended up, we had expenses for. We had at least, if I remember off the top of my head, like 35,000 people there.
It was a big one. I
It
was there, it was big.
It was a really good one. Friday night kind of messed us up with the accident that was on the interstate. But other than that, we did really well. We were down from the year before, but it fluctuates every year. So we'd really appreciate if y'all would support us.
Okay. Now we have the interstate completed, so the
Yes.
South Street exit's very
yes.
good. So-
Interstate is all completed. AR Dot started yesterday working on our front entrance again. So hopefully that will be a whole lot easier for trailers and stuff to get in. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sure.
yes,
It's doing good.
yes. So we are doing well.
Well,
Thank you.
we enjoy that event in the city, so we appreciate that. Okay, thank you, Julie. Of course, that is the first reading, and we will vote on that in the February meeting. Okay. Let's move on now to report from the Benton Event Center with Nikki.
A little less than 30 days, we've had 10 events. We were able to wrap up our 2024 holiday parties. You see that week of the, December 11th. We started, we had about 4 days of quite a few people in the building, with the, including one that I want to highlight is the Campbell Automotive holiday party. That was a combination of Campbell and Crane Automotive, and we had around 900 people in the building for that holiday party. Then we went into CHI St. Vincent and the Saline County Night Show. We had around 1,900 people, including vendors. Then right before Christmas Eve, we had the chamber had bingo with over 900 people. The additional people are volunteers. So, do it.
Okay, so that was 10 events with a little over 5,300 people. So that brought us to 978,900.
Okay, kind of looking at the numbers, looks like we will have our 1 millionth visitor this coming year, so we need to find out who that is and celebrate with.
Yeah, give 'em some cookies or something.
So,
1 million cookies. Or we
Yeah.
put a banner over 1 million saved.
could, yeah, yeah. It is exciting though. So, any questions for Nikki? Okay, thank you, Nikki. Okay, we're moving on, a report on the development of the Exit 114 property. Well, for those who haven't heard, we're very excited to announce that the Buc-ee's has received their permit from the Corps of Engineers. And so we're very, very excited about, we're moving some cows as we speak. One of the things that we are going to be looking at is part of our ownership of the property and everything is we're going to need to put up a temporary fence to keep the cows out of the Buc-ee's construction site. And then this is a fence that we can also utilize down the road, and we move it as we develop further projects. So it's just going to be a barbed wire fence, 5-wire. I learned something about barbed wire fences today. So the excavating group for Buc-ee's is going to install it and get all the materials, but the commission we will need to pay for that. So this is something long-term that we'll be able to utilize on our future projects. I don't know what barbed wire fences cost, about 300 yards. So, but having them install it will be beneficial to us for that. So just wanted to kind of alert you as we have more details. I will pass it on to the commission on that. But so hopefully we are going to see some dirt moving very, very soon. So very exciting. So any questions? Okay. Well, let's move on to old business, the A&P Marketing Committee with Steve.
The committee has not met since the last time we met, but our friends from the self-agency are here. If you guys have anything you want to share, or I apologize, Drew, I got your email earlier in the week and hadn't responded to you. So I don't know if you guys have something that you want to share today, or just here for questions, or?
We're just here to attend.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just trying to make this regular.
Good deal. All right, good deal. So I have, with that being said, I've been.
Okay.
That's the way to bring it.
Well, when we know more about the groundbreaking of Buc-ee's, we'll keep you on the loop on that. So that's an exciting thing for us here in Benton. Okay. 2025 Budget Committee meeting. Our first meeting is scheduled for January 16th at 9 a.m. We did some preliminary gathering of numbers yesterday. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Nikki, for that. So we are looking forward to, the Budget Committee will consist of Mandy, Jordan, Nikki, Gary, myself, Amy, and Luke is joining us. So we're doing that at 9 a.m. to
We're
come.
thinking of a creative name.
So we looking forward to that. We had a good year last year on our financials. So very looking forward to putting some good numbers together and have that to be able to present as soon as possible to the commission. Any questions about that? Oh, that's good. Okay, next meeting date will be Wednesday, February 12th. Hopefully we have good weather for that. Anybody have any conflicts with the 12th? Everything look good?
I know of, nope.
Okay, any other business?
Nope. I make a motion, we adjourn. You're here.
Do we have a second? All in favor? Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you.
I didn't want to hit it on this table. I'm like, it might make a million.
What a ballpark fence cost?
You know, I would think the labor's more than honestly